A fault is a weakness, a defect, a fracture. Faults divide, tear, and consume. Here in the city of Chester's Chasm, we struggle to maintain that precarious balance over the precipice in the earth, in our lives, and in our hearts. This story is about 4 teenagers with faults of their own.
The fault between my faith and freedom.
The fault between my family and identity.
The fault between my life and death.
The fault between my guilt and revenge.
As these fractures grow, we stand at the edge and ask, what must we sacrifice to sate the void's endless hunger? Is it possible that the answer lies within all our faults? Greetings, and welcome, my good friends, to All Our Faults, a Monster Hearts 2 actual play podcast on the Tabletop Talespinners network. I am your host and MC, Mistress Winter. Whether you are returning to us after our break or coming to us for the first time, you are most welcome. We are so glad to have you. I won't linger on ceremony as I said my piece in the mid-season recap. One announcement I will reiterate, though, is that we have a new cast member. Extell has graciously joined our show. Thus, it is my pleasure to introduce a new character to our story, Solomon the Werewolf. As with our other characters, Solomon deserves a prologue. So without much further ado, let's take a look at Solomon's journey up to the point that he steps into our ongoing saga. Content warnings for this episode include a mass shooting, child endangerment, and religiously motivated murder. As always, thank yous and shoutouts will be after the show. Faulty Flashpoint. A lone wolf. All right. Welcome, Extell. Glad to have you joining us. I'm really excited for you to join the cast here.
I'm excited myself.
You have brought to us a new character named Solomon. If you will, please introduce yourself and your character prior to him joining up with the actual other characters.
Hello, everybody. My name's Extell. You can find me at Extro the King on the socials. My pronouns are he, him. Solomon's pronouns are also he, him. Solomon Fischer is an interesting character. Usually he stands about 6'2". He is pretty bulky, pretty muscular. He wears sort of jean pants with like classic like work boots, the red like plaid shirt, no undershirt underneath. It's slightly open at the top. His hair is locked in like a very deep black color and about shoulder length. His eyes are a bit unusual, but he explains them away sometimes. But he has the black sclera and sort of goldish color irises. He has a very primal look to him. He looks like he is always ready to just run wild, like he runs through the forest. You know, his skin is werewolf.
Yes, so we have Solomon the Werewolf, which I am super excited to see the dynamic that this is going to create. Your pack had settled in the national forest that borders Chester's Chasm, had a village of sorts on the Washington state side. They had built this little commune, and it worked. The community came together. They helped raise each other's kids. They grew crops and shared and helped each other with everything. It was a very peaceful, cooperative little piece of heaven in a way. This commune was called Elmcrest.
Ooh, I like that.
The commune thrived for a few decades, and that's where we're going to start our story here. With you as a very young child, You have been living amongst these people for all of your life. Your parents having come to this commune probably a couple years before they had you. So your early years, your infant years were a bit tumultuous, but with the help of the elders and the leaders of your pack, you were able to navigate your changes a little bit easier. This was before you had even hit puberty, which would present plenty of other challenges, but the community was up to the challenge, as they had done a couple of times before. So on this particular day, you're about 8. Your little village is at its usual leisurely bustle. People tending to various chores, your parents tending to... What were your parents' specialties?
I think Dad, John, good old John Fischer, was pretty good at woodworking. Probably some sort of like carpenter. Help building stuff. Probably, plots for the wooden frames for the growing food. I think Mom, Samantha, was kind of a hunter / probably also taught anybody if needed to be self-defense maybe. I feel like she was really good at that.
Okay, cool. So while your village has been pretty isolated, it still understands the need for a little bit of security. Your mom is often, if she's not hunting for game for the village, is usually posted up at the front gate, just keeping watch over things. So as you come out of your little hut that is assigned to your little family, you'll spot her up at the front by the big wooden doors. Your father, as you scan past all the other people, you will note him toiling away under a cover, a wooden structure, where he is shaping wood, sanding it down, working on a canoe. What would you like to do?
Young Solomon, with his probably not wearing, combat boots and jeans at this age. Probably running around in like sneakers or something, and hair, but a bit shorter than it is when he's older. Still locked though. His wild probably has like leaves in his hair all the time for no reason. Just woke up, leaves are in his hair somehow. The sun is glistening off his, dark skin, and he just runs over to Dad first. Dad, what you working on? Dad, what you working on?
Well, it's the same project I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. Got this beautiful, beautiful canoe that we're making for one of the elders for her retirement. What do you think? How do you think it's turning out?
Well, I think it needs to be shinier.
Shinier?
Yeah. You can make wood shiny, right?
Of course, and it will get there. Once I'm done shaping it, we're gonna lacquer it and get a nice wax coating on it. So that'll make it nice and shiny for you.
Okay, that's cool. And then I can ride in it too.
If Elder Grouse lets you, then I'm sure you will. But you have to ask her first.
Yeah. Now she'll let me do it. Look at his face. Smiles at him.
Have you completed your chores?
You say chores, but what you really mean is playtime, right? Because if so, then no.
I do not mean playtime, but I do think that our pile of laundry is not very, very large at this moment, so you know what? Don't tell your mom, but you can skip chores today. Go find some of your friends and go have some fun.
He just does like a fist pump and just immediately runs out to go say good morning to Mom.
On your way there, you are running across the small little compound, dodging through some of the raised planters that people have for crops and stuff like that. And you hear it very briefly before you feel it. A girl leaps onto your back and tackles you down to the ground just past the planters. Ha ha, got you! And she lets out this like little giggling growl as her fingers dig into your shoulders like little claws.
Ow! You gotta be more careful with those.
This you would know as Elmira, one of the other children in the village, and a longtime playmate.
I think he is like on the ground, just like slaps his hand over his eyes and goes, "Elmira, I wasn't ready.
You always gotta be ready."
I was talking to my dad. I was going to talk to my mom next.
And she like sits down on your hips, pinning you down to the ground. Well, you're not gonna be able to go anywhere because I got you.
We'll see about that. And then I'll try to flip her off of me.
Okay. There's two ways you could do this. You could either run away, where you don't intend to attack back, or you can do a lash out physically, in which you do want to turn the wrestling tides, as it were.
I'll lash out physically.
All right.
No one sneaks up on me. Of course, not trying to hurt her or anything, but, you know.
Of course not. So that's 2d6 plus volatile.
Wonderful. I got a pretty good volatile here. Oh, nice. So that's 2 3s plus 2. That's 8.
8. All right. That falls into our success with consequences level.
Oh, lovely.
On a 7 to 9, you harm them, but you can choose one. Either they learn something about your true nature and gain a string on you, I decide how bad the harm turns out, or you become your darkest self.
I think they learned something about true nature. Gain a string on me. You want to become my darkest self right here.
Yeah, no,
right now.
Might be a little early for that one, but you never know. All right, so describe your attack or reversal.
I think it's a very quick, practice, because mom teaches him sometimes of how to flip someone off of you. So it's a very quick reversal, a quick turn of the hips, and then using momentum to guide the sort of flip. And now he's above her, and he's like, "Ha, gotcha."
She lets out a "Ugh," as you spin over and end up sitting on top of her. But instead of the look of submission and tapping out, she has a bit of a sly smirk on her face, and she pushes up with her hips and grabs your arms simultaneously to throw you up and over her head to hit the ground, where she rolls back over on top of you, reversing it yet again. You want to try again?
Okay. You win. I just want to go say hi to my mom.
Yeah, you're not a lot of fun. All right.
We'll play after, I promise. I gotta say good morning to mom.
Fine.
You can come with me if you want.
Your mom kind of freaks me out.
Why?
I don't know, she's just kind of a scary person.
Well, she's cool though. She knows really cool moves and stuff. That's how I did that. But I guess you know more moves than I do.
I mean, I guess that's true. I guess I could learn something. Okay. And she stands up and helps you up as well.
And then head right over to just start skipping. Because I got a friend with me. Friends, yeah.
Elmira follows close behind. Are you gonna go to the celebration tonight?
I think I got to.
I mean, it'd be really silly if you missed it, because it's we're here.
Yeah, because I live here. I have to go. I wonder if they're gonna have that weird food. It's like fish.
I hope so. I love that stuff.
I don't like fish. Fish is I like deer.
Oh, I like deer fine. Just fish is kind of nice, especially when you don't cook it, and it's all
Slimy?
Slimy, yeah.
Ew. Slimy fish.
Oh, I like it. Oh, it's so fun to slurp.
Ew. He starts running away. Playfully, of course.
Yeah, of course. Your mom watches you approach with amusement, seeing the two of you playing and teasing each other. You two aren't getting into a lot of trouble this morning, are you?
Nope.
No, Miss Samantha, no. Oh, good. Good morning, Solomon.
I did my chores.
Good. Just as I suspected. Though she glances over towards your dad, who meets her eyes, starts sanding faster.
Yep, I did them. Surely did.
So if I go home, there's not going to be a pile of laundry there?
Well, if you go home right now, it will be, because they're just drying. So they're not in a pile. They're hung up, drying where they're supposed to be drying.
All right.
But you'll find that it is perfectly clean.
All right. Well, since your dad probably told you to go have fun, I think you should go do that.
Yes.
But you remember to stay in bounds of the commune, right?
Yes, I know, Mom.
All right.
I wasn't born yesterday.
No, you are growing up.
Yeah, I can almost look. I can almost change when I want to. But I won't do it right now. But I'm getting better at it.
I know. I am so proud of you.
There's like the superhero stance with a wide smile.
Soon you will be old enough to be a guard like me. Maybe even go on hunts with me.
Ooh, can we get deer? I like deer.
Absolutely. I would be honored to take you on your first hunt.
We'll get a big old deer. We'll share with everybody. Everybody can have deer, except I get the best part, the leg.
The leg? You like the legs, huh? You're a leg man.
The meaty part, the thighs.
Those things are bigger than you. I don't think you could eat an entire one.
I could eat that, definitely. Surely I could.
I don't know. Might have to prove it tonight.
I'll eat the whole thing, I promise. It might take a little bit, but I'll eat it all, I swear. And it might not all go down, it might not all stay down, but I'll eat it all.
Well, that's the whole thing. You can't bring it all back up if you can't eat it all.
Oh, that presents a problem.
I'm sure you'll figure out a solution.
Because I'm growing up. He does the same Superman like pose.
All right, you two. Now go have fun and be ready by sundown for the celebration, okay?
Yeah, okay. It already started running off. Will do, Mom. All right, see you later.
Bye, Miss Vanta! As Elmira chases after you. Later that evening, the activity of the village has increased fivefold as the residents prepare for the night's celebrations. They're stringing some fairy lights and other decorative things in addition to the usual outdoor lights, setting up little sitting areas, lighting fires. You can smell various meats and breads being cooked and baked and prepared for the feast to come. Are you doing anything to prepare?
I'm probably just helping where I can. Probably not actually helping, but I'm there. I'm not in the way, but I'm also not really actually doing anything of substance to help.
Of course.
people just like let me think I am. They're like, oh no, yeah, you carry this stick over there, and he's cheesing the whole time, big smile, like he's doing something
super important. Yeah. Elmira, with some false grumpiness, is following along with you, aiding you in these like very small tasks, clearing dirt areas of limbs and leaves and stuff that might catch fire, pushing a chair into place, around tables and the like. But with your help, as menial and insignificant as that help might be, the retirement celebration for Elder Grouse begins in earnest by the time that the moon has risen up over the trees. Though it is not a full moon, you, and you suspect others as well, feel its influence. You feel its gaining strength, tugging at something deep inside of you, at your core, like a fire bringing water to a slow boil. It's not hot enough yet, but it's getting there. And there is a bit of agitation that comes with that permeates through the commune. Those with lycanthropy tend to be a little bit more aggressive. They often get into like little fights or will engage in fierce competition. So as part of the celebration, there are a number of games that are planned in order to help curb some of those tendencies. Some of the games will include timed tree climbing. There's this very tall elm tree in the center that bears the scars of so many claws being born into its bark. People will take turns scrambling to the top of it. This one is extraordinarily tall, and its lowest branches are not weight supporting. So for a good majority of the tree, you have to use claw to scale it. So there's that competition to scale it the fastest. There is eating contests. So they'll put down like this plate of meat, and you have to devour the whole thing. And it's raw meat. It helps satiate that bloodlust, you know?
Oh, lovely.
There is tug of war, just for some traditional games, and a couple others, but are you interested in partaking in any of these games?
I think 2 of them.
Okay.
The climbing and the eating. I have to eat because I told my mom I would, and that I could, and I gotta prove her that I can.
Okay. You get entered into the eating contest, much to your mom's begrudging acceptance. And you sit down at a table that is like shoulder high, and a plate is set in front of you that has a mound of raw meat chunks, and same with 3 other competitors. There will be a timekeeper who will fire off a little starter gun, and that initiates the contest. He watches, waits for all of you to be ready. You ready?
Yeah.
He shakes his head. All right, and go! And fires off the gun. The other 3 either bury their face in their plate or just take handfuls and begin shoving this meat into their face with bloody results.
I also am grabbing chunks and just shoveling it in there.
All right. If you will give me a volatile.
See how this goes? That's a 7.
Okay. In that case, try as you might. You make great progress in the amount of time before the starter gun goes off again, indicating that somebody is finished. Your small hands take like as much as they can hold and shove them into your face, and you munch down the meat as fast as you can. When the starter gun goes off again, you still have stuff on your plate, so unfortunately you haven't won the competition. But you're also not in last place, which is something at least.
I start celebrating immediately. Yeah!
Yeah, you're granted, we'll say, 3rd place, based on what is left on your plate.
Mom, you saw? Did you see it?
I saw Solomon, and she's just shaking her head and chuckling to herself. She puts her head on John's shoulder. Is this really our life?
I'm the greatest of all time. I'm acting like I'm acting like I've won.
Of course.
You thought I couldn't do it? I did it though.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
It's like a backflip.
After the competitions have helped curb people's aggressive tendencies. There is a chorus of howling that washes through the commune, bringing everybody's attention up front to kind of a presentation ceremony for Elder Grouse, who has been sat in a prominent throne-like chair as the center of attention. And the adults take their turns showering the elder with praises and thank yous and all the boring stuff that adults like to do at these kinds of things. You've maybe seen one other one, but it's always been a snooze fest. Elmira kind of sidles up next to you. This is so boring.
I know. You wanna go play?
Where are we gonna go play?
I don't know. In the woods?
I don't know if we're supposed to leave.
Who's gonna notice? They're talking about the old lady over there. You've been a pillar of our community, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, I want to go for a run anyway.
Yeah. What should we go for? Like a run or a run?
A run?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I need to stretch my paws.
Me too. It's been so long since I changed. And the moon's calling me. I feel it.
Me too.
Okay. I'll meet you by the gate.
Okay, give me a runaway.
Alrighty.
And that is with Volatile.
With Volatile. Lovely. Oh, that's gonna be bad. This is 4. This is 6.
You turn and make your way through the crowd, trying to escape notice. But as you barrel out of the crowd, you run smack dab into your dad. Whoa, hey, buddy, where are you going?
Nowhere. Just, getting a run in. Stretching my legs. Was sitting down for too long. I started doing, stretches.
Uh-huh. And where were you gonna go running?
Just, over yonder. Doesn't point to anywhere, just...
Within the compound, right?
Yeah, of course. Dad, what are you taking me for? I wasn't born yesterday. Your mom loved that one earlier.
Give me a keep your cool.
Keep your cool. What do I add to this?
That is cold.
Well, I believe I have a -1 to cold. Yeah, so 5 - 1 is 4.
I appreciate that kids your age need plenty of space and to be active, but you have to do it in here. It's not safe out there.
Okay, well, can I go to the gate and tell Elmira that we can't do it because we were going to go to get there?
Yes, you may. But then you're going to stay inside, right?
Yes.
Okay. And he leans down and kisses your head and lets you run off.
I love you too, Dad. Go.
Love you, buddy. Elmira is waiting by the gate off to the side where there is a loose post that can be used to get in and out that you're both familiar with. Okay, are you ready?
Oh, I can't go now. My dad caught me.
Oh, Solomon!
Yeah, no, he told me to stay inside. We can't go.
Well, that's poo.
I know, right? I wanted to shift and run and go and do what I wanted to.
Well, I guess I gotta stay in too. I'm not gonna leave my best friend.
I mean, he's not around now. Maybe we can still go. I look around. Do I see my parents or anybody looking over here?
No, they are fully engrossed in what's going on up at the stage.
Well, we could still go. They're not looking.
Are you sure?
I mean, I might get in trouble later, but it's fine. It's worth it.
Okay, fine. Let's go.
Yeah.
She digs her claws in toward the bottom of the post and lifts it up high enough for you to crawl under.
Yeah. It's the sounds of Solomon crawling under the post.
You hold it for her on the other side where she scrambles through.
Cracks knuckles.
You are free.
It is very much a look at Elmira, and then it's like, all right, I do my best to shift.
What does it look like?
It's more of a hybrid form than it is a wolf form. So while it still looks like a human, for the most part, there's more hair that grows, specifically mostly from the face. Fangs start to come in from both the bottom and the top. The eyes, I believe, start to glow, and there's just a more animal-like look to him now, and claws, of course.
Of course. In similar fashion, Elmira takes on that same visage. The arms lengthen just a little bit, claws. Her eyes are more of that cloudy gray with flecks of hazel, and they just seem to glow in the dark. Her face kind of sharpens a bit as the teeth come in, the pseudo muzzle forms just a little bit. All right, let's go. And she lops off into the woods.
Right out on all fours, just going right after her.
The two of you dash out into the brush and the trees and just run down various animal paths, barrel through brush, laughing and giggling and howling in intervals. Give me a runaway.
Come on, dice, do me good. 8.
So for a runaway, you can choose one. You run into something worse, or something bad in this case. You cause a big scene, or you leave something behind.
I think cause a big scene.
Okay.
I think maybe, if I may, probably stir up some animals that like start making a pretty big noise as they get scared and run away because they see this weird creature running at them. It's probably like I'm running because I'm running all fours. So I'll probably go and I mess up and I trip and I roll into maybe some sleeping deer and they just start going.
The family of deer had found a perch up on a raised area and were grazing when you come barreling through. Even their most vigilant barely has time to react and warn the others before they scatter and trip over themselves to avoid the incoming predator. The sudden burst of movement and noise draws the attention of something else. A shot rings out. One of the deer falls. Elmira pounces on top of you and stops you at the top of this ridge and puts her clawed hand around your mouth. Shh, look. Just down the ridge, probably about 20 feet down, a group of humans have been making their way very quietly up a trail toward the commune. The sudden burst of movement had spooked one of them, and he had fired and killed the deer.
Ah, shit. I thought it was one of them. Hey, Ralph, you gotta keep yourself a little calmer, man. They're gonna hear us coming. Yeah, well, doesn't help that I'm fucking nervous. These things are dangerous.
Elmira's kind of like craning her neck to both stay hidden, but to see what the men are doing. Who are they?
I'm also going to try to sneak a peek. Is her hand still over my mouth?
She slowly releases you now that you've gotten the point.
I don't know. They could be. They got guns.
Guns and looks like, I don't know, like bats?
Should we go tell everybody?
Yeah. Oh, but then they're going to get mad at us for being out here.
Man, I don't want that to be mad at me. Maybe we should just hide.
You think we should just stay here?
Yeah, we should just hide. And then they'll go away, and then we go back home.
Okay, all right. She nestles down next to you, keeping low and watching this group of men as they make their way back up the path, continuing on their trek toward the commune. Are you going to stay there until otherwise directed?
I think I'm going to stay there with Elmira. Well, if Elmira stays there, then the main thing, Solomon's just going to stay with Elmira, but after the people with the guns are out of view or earshot of us, then I think that's when I'll start trying to move away and try to go back, find the way back home an alternate way. Of course, bring Elmira with me.
Roll your heightened senses. Roll your dark.
Oh, that's bad. So that is a 2.
In your attempt to navigate around the group and make it back to the commune without them noticing, you end up lost. You have gotten a little turned around and are not sure which direction the village is. Elmira's kind of at your shoulder. I don't think we're supposed to be over here. Like,
yeah, this is new. I don't know this place. Okay, don't panic. I think we're lost.
you got us lost?
I didn't want to go the same way they were going. They got guns, bats.
At that point, the first distant shots echo out into the woods, followed very shortly by shouts and cries. The village is under attack. The sounds now orient you to where the village is, allowing you to hurry that direction, unless you'd like to do otherwise.
I think I'd be going. I'm worried about my parents and about everybody else. I would look to Elmira and see how she's doing it, how she's reacting.
Ooh. There is absolutely this look of worry and concern, maybe even fear, that is settling behind her wolven eyes.
I'm sure everything's fine, right? My mom would take him down, that's for sure. Should we go back? I think we should go back.
I don't know. I don't want you to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt either. I don't want you to get hurt, but I also don't want my parents to get hurt. What about your parents?
No, I don't want them to get hurt either. I don't know. We need to get back.
Okay. I got an idea, right? You wait here, and I'll go back, and I'll go get them, and I'll come back with them.
Okay.
Unless you want to come with me.
No, I'll wait right here. I'll play lookout.
Okay. Yeah, make sure you hide. You gotta hide.
Okay. She looks up at a tree and begins scaling it with ease.
And I'm running as fast as I can on all fours. Again, it's the way Solomon likes to run. He could run upright, but I feel like he feels he's faster on all fours.
Sure. You near the village, and the lights have grown brighter. But it's not the lights per se. It is the fires that have started along the walls and possibly even within them, as a couple of the men have thrown fire bombs over and into the area. There are cries of panic. There are howls and roars of challenge. The doors to the village have been opened, and there are some fights going on. People on both sides lay bloodied or wounded or dead already. You can see from your vantage that the aggressors have inched forward and are making their way into the compound. Their guns going off in various intervals.
I think I run up off to the side and try to get in another way that's not where they are entering. I try to go around to the back or off down the ways where they can't see and try to climb up the fence and get inside. If I can do that, I'll try to look for my parents.
Yeah, you scale the outside pretty easily, your claws burrowing into the wood as you throw yourself over the top and down. It is chaos inside, and it does not look like your people are faring well. Whatever weapons that these people have brought are effective and are winning the war, even against some of your stronger members. Give me a dark.
Switching up the die here. 8 minus 1, 7.
So, with your heightened senses, you can ask one question and gain a forward. A forward, as a reminder, is a +1 on your next roll. I'm going to say it doesn't have to be one of those questions. If there's something more pressing that you want to ask that would apply to your senses, that works too.
Yeah, I think Solomon, this age, would not be would not be calm enough to think of how to help everyone. Not that he doesn't want to, but right now he's more concerned about his parents. So I think the question I would ask is, using my senses, where are my parents in all this commotion?
Very good. You take in the sense, the sounds, your glowing eyes sweeping over the encampment, marking each of the fallen, each of the fighters. And with this aggregation of sensual data, you determine that your father is at a back entrance, assisting some people out that back area. Your mom breaks off from the fight toward the center, toward that elm tree, after she spots you, and she rushes over. Solomon, there you are. Are you hurt?
No, I'm fine. But Elmira's out in the woods because we left and we saw them and we hid. We were coming back, but we got lost. Elmira's still out there in the.
Okay, all right. Is she safe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then we are going to get you to safety. I'll make sure that somebody knows where she is. Let's go.
Should we go get her? Or?
She just grabs your hand and yanks you toward that back gate, dodging behind some of the huts and cabins that are built around the ring, avoiding the bulk of the fighting and getting around to the back where your dad is helping the elder grouse out, just as the violence is surging forward toward your location. There you are. Let's go. We can't stay here. All right, where are we going? We might have to find someplace, because I have no clue. And after some very brief and heated discussion, you're dragged out into the woods, away from the carnage, away from the fighting. The bloody night ends on the run as you are dragged through the woods. Some vehicles are procured, but they're very shoddy. They won't get very far. What remains of the Moonraiders pack scatters to the wind. You don't know what comes of Elmira or her parents or any of the other survivors who scatter out into the forest. Your parents decide that finding someplace even more isolated is the best bet, because if it's just the three of you, then there's less chance that you're going to be found out. And then eventually, yes, they will figure out what to do next. About 2 months pass, and you have been living in this small cabin that your parents discovered, abandoned out in the national park. And they've spruced it up a little bit and made it livable. It's a little bit rough going, no amenities, and you have to forage for food and such. But it seems like they're slowly regaining their sense of security, or safety anyway. But all of that is shattered when a couple of those same men from that fateful night have tracked you and your parents to this cabin. Are you in the cabin when they attack, or are you out and about again?
I think Solomon was in the cabin. I think he was scared to go out for a little while.
Your dad is attacked outside, chopping some wood. Your mother is inside preparing food when she hears the attack. And she acts quickly to shove a large dresser aside, revealing a hole in the floor that they never quite gotten around to fixing, and grabs you and thrusts you toward it. Solomon, stay down there. Stay here until it's quiet.
What about you and Dad? What are you gonna do?
We're gonna be okay. Just stay there. And once everything's quiet again, you can come out.
Mom, I'm scared.
You gotta be brave for me, Solomon.
Okay.
You've got to.
I'll stay quiet. Then we'll have dinner, yeah?
Absolutely. In typical fashion, she's going to grab a necklace that she has. I will let you decide. What is this necklace?
I think it's a pendant of a full moon, because that's the night Solomon was born. There was the full moon. And so she wears that to remind her of the best night of her life. I feel like she always describes it as.
Oh, break my heart. She grasps the medallion and tears it from her neck, shoves it against your chest as she pushes you down into the hole. Before you can react, she heaves the dresser back over the hole. There is the sound of banging, splintering wood, shouting, both from your mom and the assailants. A violent scuffle that knocks dirt and splinters down on top of you from the floor and dresser above. You can kind of see between the planks just little glimpses of movement, but can't make out the bigger picture. Eventually, the thuds, the hits, the sounds overhead stop. You can hear the assailants panting from their efforts and moving around on top of you. They begin to move about above you, throwing items, tossing the cabin. When they're satisfied, you hear their footsteps retreat out the front door, the crunch of dirt and gravel as they walk away from the cabin. And only then, when they have finally gone, is the cabin silent. You can smell dirt, dust, and blood.
I think I wait in there for a long time. I think it's because in my mind, I'm waiting for my mom to pull me out of here. But I don't think it's till nighttime that he realizes it's not going to happen. And I'm trying my best to push or move the dresser above me to try to get out.
Give me a volatile.
This is my thing, so I'm good at 8, 9, so 9.
It takes some effort from your disadvantaged position, but after some effort, you do manage to shuffle it over enough that you can grab the edge and leverage it away so that you can expose the hole that you're in.
And I'll peek my head out first.
The cabin is dark. No one to light the lanterns or lights. But with your wolf-like vision, you can make out more detail about the silhouettes made by the moonlight. You can see your mother laying on the floor, probably not even 3 feet away. Her back is to you, and she is not moving.
Climb out, and I crawl over to her. Mom? Mom?
She does not respond.
I go put a hand and shake her. Mom? Mom?
As you get in a little bit closer to try and rouse her, you can make out massive bruises, contusions, and injuries, especially around her head, from some sort of blunt object.
Mom, you okay, right? We're supposed to have dinner tonight. It's nighttime already.
Only silence in response.
I'll stand up and it's okay. I'll go get Dad, and everything's fine. And then I'll walk outside and look for her. I know Dad was outside, so I'm gonna go look for him outside. Probably peek my head out the door.
You'll find him near the stump where he was cutting wood, axe on the ground next to him. He looks to have been shot, but then bludgeoned as well. He too offers no response.
Dad, no. Oh, I guess I'm alone. Then he sits down on the ground, and I think he left the door open, and he looks towards where his mom is, and then looks towards where his dad is, and then sort of like sits. There's a lot of thoughts that go through his head, questioning what he could have done, if he could do anything. And I think he sits there and he cries, just looking at them for a few minutes. And then the tears sort of stop as I stand and I shift, and near where Dad is, I start digging. I just start like clawing away at the ground, digging deep and wide.
And you proceed to bury your parents?
He doesn't know how deep it should be. It's probably just a few feet.
So they're shallow grave. Even with your claws, the digging of 2 graves takes well into the night. And then the near Herculean effort for an 8-year-old to get their bodies into the respective holes. By the time you finish, you can feel the moon's power waning as it descends toward the horizon, and the sun's power coming up over the opposite.
I think after he fills the hole, just lays on top of them and cries until the sun comes up, holding the necklace in his hand tight.
It is well into the next day, maybe even into the following, that anything breaks your grief. It is the presence of someone else that catches your attention and brings you up out of that dark place. This person stands at a respectable distance, their hat in hand, recognizing the gravity of your situation.
I think if I notice them, I sit up. I don't think I've unshifted at all the whole time, and it's like snarl that comes from me, as I'm very, very wary of this person.
The individual simply holds out their hat in a very placating manner. No need to get all aggressive. I meant no disrespect. Certainly. Came to pay my respects. I see you are in your moment of grieving, and I would not want to intrude, but it seems that a small young thing like you might need of some assistance.
Doesn't reply at all.
So if we can just take a breath, put away the claws for a moment, I shall introduce myself. I am Rolling Rock. You can just call me Rock if that is what you prefer. What is your name?
Solomon looks at the person and doesn't reply to the question of what the name is, and it is look he's giving this person is less hostile, and just says nothing still. Just sort of he does seem to relax a little bit, but is still very like cautious and probably more so afraid than anything, and just stares back at this person.
Rock simply nods. No, I'm pressing too much. Let me, are you hungry? I bet you're hungry. Let me take care of things. And they will take some of the wood that your father had been cutting and set up a small campfire and begin cooking over it. Takes a pot out of their enormous leather bag and begins cooking up what ends up being a stew, and invites you over when you're ready.
I think it is a good bit, probably a good 20 minutes after the food is done, and then Solomon's stomach growls. The claws and everything reverts back to normal as he goes back into human form, and slowly like stands and walks over there.
Rock will offer a small bowl of the food and will say nothing more and simply allow you to engage as you feel comfortable and become more settled in their presence. And so we fade out on that first encounter between Solomon and their nomadic caretaker, Rock. And that will be Solomon's origin story. What a way to get back into things. I'm already excited for you to experience the rest of Solomon's story as he joins with our other monstrous teens. Big thanks to the Tabletop Talespinners Network and director Emma Kocar for our home and support. We wouldn't be here without you. Shout out to Juicy Garland, our social media queen. This episode starred Extell, who can be found in the social wilds as @Extell the King. I have been your hostess, MC, and producer, Mistress Winter. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll come back in a couple of weeks for our first main episode back. Until then, I wish your hearts love and hope. This has been a tale from the Tabletop Talespinners Network.